So this kid fully committed attempted murder for content. That was apparently a prank, and as you just saw, it could have went really wrong and brutally killed someone. This is just one example of how social media pranks have evolved into something that isn't even a prank anymore. Now, back in the day, believe it or not, YouTube pranks were actually harmless. I know it's hard to believe. For example, one of my all-time favorites is Nelk's Coke prank. Basically, they tell a cop near the Mexico border that they have a ton of Coke in the back of their car, acting all scared and nervous, only for the cops to open the trunk to a bunch of cans of Coke in the back. The cops got a kick out of it, the pranksters laughed, everybody had a good time, and that was that. But here's the thing. As more pranksters pop up online and more prank content pops up on the internet, the audience gets a lot harder to impress. And because of that, creators decide to cross new lines in order to get those precious clicks and views. And that, my friends, brings us to the people we are going to be talking about today. The people who have changed the concept of harmless pranks into prankless harms. We're going to be talking about kids throwing sofas off balconies, a dude straight up assaulting strangers for content, someone who broke into a family's home as a prank, and that is barely scratching the surface. So grab a snack, sit back and relax, and let's get into it by starting with the kids who decided to throw this sofa off of the balcony. As you saw, that huge sofa was just inches away from landing on someone who was just minding their own business shopping at a mall. And these guys run away laughing like they just pulled off the funniest prank of the century. The craziest part to me is that you can see that before this video was reshared, it was just a Snapchat story, which basically means these guys probably filmed that video and attempted murder for the validation of about 40 individuals. Both of the kids were just 15 years old when all of this happened, and fortunately, the video went viral enough to where they were both charged with crimes. Now, when the kid who threw the sofa in the video was spoken to by officers, he said, "It's not that deep, I did not hit no one." Literally no big deal, guys. Everybody chill out. I only almost crushed someone to death with the sofa. Why is everybody just making such a fuss about this? It's all good. He also said that him and his buddy always throw objects off bridges and trains as quote-unquote pranks. I mean, this is not a prank, my guy. I don't think these morons realize how lucky they are, because if that sofa did end up hitting that person, they would be in jail for a long time. Their lives would be different. They'd be ruined. That guy would 100% be dead. Simple as that. So as far as punishment goes, the kid who threw it ended up being handed an 8-month detention and training order. And the other kid who filmed it ended up pleading not guilty, so he's set for another court date soon. I guess we'll see what happens, but in my opinion, both of them deserve to get at least some sort of a lesson here. Now we need to talk about the guy who thought it would be a good idea to pretend to stab people with a syringe as a prank. But before we do so, I want to take a quick moment to thank the sponsor of this video, CyberGhost VPN. Listen, the internet is sketchy. Every site wants to track you, ads follow you around for weeks, and you never really know who's watching your data. That's why having a great VPN matters, and CyberGhost has you covered. They basically throw your connection into a secure encrypted tunnel so that your IP stays hidden and your info stays private. You just turn it on and boom. Nobody sees what you're doing, and they don't keep logs either, so your data is completely secure. On top of that, you can change your virtual location with literally one click, and this allows you to unlock tons of TV shows and movies that you normally can't watch in your country on websites like Prime, Netflix, you name it. You can even snag better online deals or play games that are blocked in your region. CyberGhost also works on everything: Mac, Windows, TVs, iPhones, and consoles. And for right now, you can get it for just $2.03 plus 4 extra months for free. That is 84% off, and it comes with a 45-day money-back guarantee and 24/7 support. Join over 38 million users and grab your discount from the link in the description. Anyways, the second guy we're going to be talking about here is a French prankster, and one day he decided to film himself pretending to inject people with syringes as a prank. He did this as a prank. Let me show you the video. So yeah, as you can see, people were pretty startled by his prank, and I don't think a single person got a good laugh out of it. The syringe was apparently covered, so it couldn't actually pierce through someone's skin, but even then, this is so unbelievably messed up to do. I mean, I feel like the general idea of a prank is to make people laugh, or at least like smile, you know, not to make them freak out thinking they just caught some sort of mystery disease when they were just hanging out, thinking they were enjoying a nice day off at the park. Luckily, this loser did not end up getting away with his prankless harm here. He actually actually ended up getting into a lot of trouble. He was ultimately sentenced to 6 months in jail as he was charged with violence with a weapon that did not result in serious injury. Now, while pretending to harm people as a prank is a pretty bad thing to do in its own, I think there is one thing that we can all agree is much worse, and that would be just fully harming people for a prank. That brings us to our next individual. Yeah, that was the prank, guys. He just fully walked up to innocent people at the park and hit them in the head, and he filmed it and posted it on TikTok. What was he expecting to happen? Oh. He ended up getting interviewed shortly after the incident, after he got into a ton of trouble, which we'll talk about. But this is what he said in the interview.
I know, like, from the video, all you see is, like, the bad part about it, but what people didn't see was that I shook his hand after.
Oh, thank God. You know what? I didn't know you shook his hand after. I had no clue about that. You know what? That changes everything. Matter of fact, this kid's actually a great kid now. What was I ever thinking? He wasn't even terrorizing a random stranger. He was just messing with him before politely introducing himself to make a new connection.
And how I had gave the man a hug.
And he even gave him a hug? Oh my God, what a stand-up guy. You know what? Give this man a Nobel Peace Prize. He deserves it.
I really didn't expect for it to just go so left.
What did you expect? You just walked up to an unsuspecting stranger and socked him from the back of the head. Anyways, the kid didn't just get a slap on the wrist, thank God. He got charged with assault causing bodily injury and aggravated robbery. Now, as of now, there haven't been any updates on his situation, but I've been keeping close track of it because I find this whole thing unbelievable, and I really hope he learns his lesson. I really did. Now, I know that one was bad, and you might be thinking it can't get any worse than that, but if you thought that, you're wrong. Because it does. We still need to talk about the guy who tried to poison people as a prank, and the guy who would just steal people's dogs and fully break into people's houses as a prank. We'll start with the guy who poisoned the grocery store. His name is Charles Smith, and he has a stacked resume when it comes to pissing people off online. I'm honestly shocked it took him so long to get arrested, because before the story I'm about to tell you, he was already doing things like walking into fast food restaurants and throwing dead animals at employees. He'd also do things like, I don't know, run into random people and then blast them with a fire extinguisher as a prank. At one point, he even walked into a restaurant and dumped a bucket of ice into the deep fryer. And you can't see it in the video, but this causes it to immediately overflow, which makes it super dangerous for all of the employees he just pranked, because that can cause severe burns. But like I said, somehow, none of that got him arrested. But let's be real, you can only push it for so long until your luck finally runs out. And that's exactly what happened when he posted this video. Yeah. Fully sprayed pesticides on produce at Walmart. This guy is 27, by the way. The dude's pushing 30 doing this. He should be working a normal job. He should be the one at the fast food restaurant. Anyway, someone saw him do this prank and they were not happy because they shopped at that Walmart. And because of that, this one was enough for him to finally get arrested. He was charged with adding poison to food and sentenced to jail time, but unfortunately, he is back out there, so be careful. Now, before we get to the prankster who is by far the worst of the worst, we gotta talk about one more guy because he's up there too. He goes by Tommy Tough Knuckles on TikTok, and he was posting things like this.
I'm Tommy Tough Knuckles. I just hit 25K. Bean challenge. Get me to 50K. We'll do more.
Yeah, that was just one of his many pranks. Literally just walked into someone's business and dumped a bunch of beans on himself and then left.
One case, they say he poured a bucket of beans on his head inside a Chinese restaurant.
I mean, I can't even believe the fact that this is a real graphic on the news. Poured beans on head in Chinese restaurant has to be a sentence that has never once been written on live TV before this moment. As you can see by that graphic, he also got in trouble for a few more acts, and this was all enough for Mr. Tough Knuckles to land himself a court date.
Kyle, you wanted attention, now you got it.
But Kyle Vasquez had trouble navigating all the attention at court today. Big trouble. First, an obscene gesture.
Hey, what are you doing? What? We're not doing that.
I mean, this whole segment just seems like a comedy sketch. It really doesn't seem real. This guy's situation randomly went so viral within the mainstream news, which I honestly find so funny, because most of these pranksters, yes, they do eventually end up getting in trouble, but their stories don't end up going so viral to the point where they have interviewers following them out of the courthouse like it's some O.J. Simpson case.
Free till his next court appearance, but shielded by friends who came here mostly to twerk.
That is how it ended, and I still can't believe that was a real segment. How was that on live TV? Anyways, unfortunately, this guy is back posting the same style of pranks across his social platforms, and I will say the ones he's posting now aren't as bad as like dumping beans on yourself into someone's private business, but they're still pretty bad. He'll walk up to strangers, kind of harass them and whatnot, so it still kind of does suck, and I won't be surprised if we see this guy in another crazy ass segment just like that one. Anyways, let's move on to the last prankster, who, like I said, is the absolute worst of the worst when it comes to prankless harms. He goes by Mizzy, and he became widely known after he posted this video where he walks up to an elderly woman at the park, grabs her dog, and then just fully runs off with it. But that, my friends, was just the beginning. He also posted this video where he just fully walks into a random family's
Is this where
home.
the study group is?
No.
What door number is this? No. Study group. Wait, this is not where the study group is?
got kids, man.
Oh, you got kids? Oh, sorry. Oh, I thought this was the study group. I actually thought.
It's absurd. Just think about what that would feel like for the people inside the home. You're at home with your family in what should be the safest place you have, and then all of a sudden, a stranger just fully walks in without knocking, without saying a word. I mean, the guy looked super scared in the video. He probably thought he was in serious danger and was worried for his family. Mizzy did this multiple times too, in different houses, not just one. There's also another video he posted where he walks up to a bunch of strangers hanging out, sitting on a bench, and then asks them if they want to die.
You're gonna die.
At this point, it kind of becomes clear the guy's not really even making pranks. These could not even in the slightest be classified as pranks. This is just flat out putting people into situations where they have every right to be terrified, and he just kept on doing it, and it kept on getting worse as he kept on going. Luckily, after enough of his videos had gone viral enough, authorities did decide to finally step in. Mizzy got sentenced to 18 months in prison for violating a court order that banned him from filming strangers in public without their consent. And honestly, it was only a matter of time. You really can't keep on doing things like this and then just expect nothing to happen. Now, surprisingly, Mizzy just recently finished his sentence, and after doing so, he's come out and said that he wants to completely turn things around for himself and totally distance himself from what he has been formerly known for. He finally got a job, just had a second kid, just bought a new car, and said that he's completely changed. So hopefully that holds true. So anyways, I guess the moral of the story here is that if your prank ends with handcuffs, it's not really a prank, it's more so a felony. Hopefully that helps. Before you go, don't forget to use the link in the description to grab the special discount that CyberGhost is giving you guys. It keeps all of your data safe, unlocks all the blocked content you want, and it's only $2.03 a month. Go check it out down below before it's too late. See you guys in the next one.